kanilang guidelines. Ganun din, kasama pati yung mga traditional na jeepneys.
Liko-likong gusot pang transportasyon ay kakalasin. Kaligtasan ng kumakayod na mamamayan ay papanatilihin.
Mandato ng Department of Transportation is transportasyon, pero meron din kami pang kaakibat na responsibilidad. No? Dapat tumulong kami sa pangangalaga ng kalusugan.
Isang public service announcement mula sa PCOO, DOTR, KPP at ng impilang ito.
Tuwing kailan ba natin dapat hugasan o isanitize ang ating mga kamay? Bago umalis ng bahay at pag-uwi ng bahay. Kapag hinawakan mo ang mga common surfaces, pintuan, switch ng ilaw, pindutan ng elevator, ATM machine, pera at iba pa. Bago at pagkatapos isuot ang iyong face mask. Bago at pagkatapos kumain. Pagkatapos gumamit ng banyo. Bago at pagkatapos hawakan ang iyong mukha. Ginagawa natin ito hindi lamang upang protektahan ang ating sarili, ngunit upang protektahan din ang iba. Para sa iba pa pong impormasyon, bisitahin ang Bida Solusyon at DOH official Facebook page. Tandaan, we can hashtag Bida Solusyon to COVID-19. Maraming salamat po.
Transmitting live from our brand new studios at TV5 Media Center and Reliance Mandaluyong. By land, by sea, and on air. Mula sa pinakabaksyong newsroom sa buong bansa. 25,000 watts. Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM. Iwanan mo na ang lumang tunog ng AM.
Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay, Big Boss Cement patag na, di basta bibigay. Nandito na ang Big Boss Cement, matatag, di basta matitibag, approve sa kalikasan at sobrang abot kaya. Big Boss Cement, Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay, Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Power and Play! Narito na ako, Noli Iyala, kilalanin ang mga nasa likod ng bawat laro. Sa buhay man o sa playing court, game na tayo! Power and Play sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM. Power and Play with Com Noli Iyala. Power and Play with Com Noli Iyala. Natatandaan niyo ba mga kaibigan nung una po tayong nag-lockdown? Talaga namang at di ba nagsara ang buong mundo ng palakasan. Naku, wala po tayo mapanood na sports at talagang nangulila tayo. Nahilig tayo sa mga online movies, yung mga Netflix na series. Ako nga, naubos ko na yung kung ilang serye na diyang mga pinapanood nating serye dyan sa Netflix, no? Well, dahan-dahan po nagbukas ang mundo ng palakasan. Nagsimula sa boxing, meron tayong nakuhang UFC, nagbukas ang golf, at hanggang nagbukas na po ang NBA. Pero kahit na tayo nagkakanda puyat-puyat sa panonood, wala po tayong humpay dahil talaga namang giliw na giliw tayo. Malapit na rin po tayo sa wakas dito sa ating bayan na magbalik ang ating kinagigiliwang PBA. Nako, ang bali-balita, so susunod na buwan na po, October 9 yata ang pinaplano ng PBA. At yan po ay ating abangan at ating pag-uusapan ngayong araw po ng Sabado, Day 189 ng pandemya. Dito po sa Power and Play. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Mga kapatid, sa lahat po ng ating mga nakikinig sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM. Magandang umaga po sa inyo. Nakapag-almusal na ba kayo? Ha? Alam niyo ako, ang paborito kong kain yung almusal. Yung pag gumising ka at bumangon ka, nakapag-ensayo ka ng konti, kahit konting stretching, kahit konting jumping jack, galaw-galaw lang sa umaga, tapos ito na. Yan na yung masarap at mainit na sinangag. Lalagyan mo ng konting bawang at saka meron kang konting sardinas. Ako gusto ko tiniternohan minsan ng tosino at saka ng hotdog. Tapos meron kang fried egg, itlog. Ayos na, ang buto-buto, ika nga ng tatay ko. At laban-laban na po yun para sa buong umaga. Well, sana po kayong lahat ay nakapag-almusal na at binabati natin lahat po ng ating mga nakikinig ng mga taxi driver, yung po mga nasa terminal ng TODA. Magandang umaga po sa inyo, ha? Yung mga nasa ospital na nanonood sa atin sa pamamagitan ng 1PH sa Signal TV. And of course, sa buong mundo, yung mga nagla-livestream po sa pamamagitan ng Facebook Live at ng Noli Iyala YouTube channel. Sundan nyo lang po ako sa social media, Instagram and Twitter at Noli Iyala. Binabati rin po natin ang mga ating mga magigiting na mga security guard na either papasok pa lamang o paalis na, pa-off na. Magandang umaga po sa inyo. Yung mga nasa call center na pauwi na rin o di kaya ay nagpapalit na ng shifting. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. And of course, lahat po ng mga motorista, kung saan man kayo naroroon, mag-ingat po tayo sa ating paglalakbay. Marami na naman tayong pag-uusapan dito po sa Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement, Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay, at ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Marami po tayong pag-uusapan ngayong araw na to, ha. Last week, halos hindi tayo nakapag-usap or hindi natin tinalakay ang ating paboritong basketball. Well, this week po, babawi tayo. All basketball day sa Power and Play dahil napakarami rin naman nangyayari sa mundo ng palakasan. Kung ating hihimayin po ang mga kwento ngayon, napakarami. Unahin na natin yung sa Amerika, yung US Open Golf, kung saan, nako po, kahapon, nagmistulang massacre dyan po sa New York, yung Winged Foot Golf Course sa New York, kung saan 3 lamang ang golfer na nanatiling nakatindig. Lahat po ay sumabog ang laro dahil sa hirap ng golf course. At sa kasalukuyan, patuloy po ang US Open Golf dyan sa New York. Ating pong babalitaan kayo mamaya dyan. Of course, ang ating kababayang si EJ Obiena, patuloy din ang pagbibigay ng karangalan sa ating bansa. Siya po ay nanalo ng bronze medal doon po sa Rome, yung tinatawag nilang Diamond League sa Rome. Nanalo po siya ng bronze medal, but mas higit po dyan yung kanyang naging performance ay nagdulot ng pinakamaganda niyang pagtalon o pag-vault ngayong taong ito with a leap of 5.80 meters. Of course, kulang pa yan dun sa nabasag na world record nung si Armand Duplantis na nanalo po dun sa Rome na 6.15. So talaga naghahabol pa ang ating kababayang si EJ Obiena. Si Yuka Saso din po, patuloy ang kanyang pagkakampanya dyan sa JLPGA sa Japan. Of course, natunghayan po natin recently ang pagkapanalo ni Osaka at ni Thiem sa US Open Tennis naman. Talagang tuloy-tuloy. At kaya naman po, buhay na muli ang mundo ng palakasan. Sana nga lang dito sa atin magsimula na ang mga inaantayan nating mga liga at mga paboritong sporting events. Alright mga kaibigan, ngayong araw po ito, sabi ko nga sa inyo, all basketball. Mamaya makakausap natin mga dating Growling Tigers na si Mark Nonoy at si Deo Kuwahao na sila po ay ngayon lilipat na sa De La Salle University. Pag-uusapan natin mamaya yan. Makakasama rin po natin mamaya si Aaron Ataide at si Gino Rufino para sa usapang NBA kung saan napakainit na po ng mga bakbakan. Nasa conference finals na tayo. Kaya man po talagang napakarami ng pwedeng himayin dyan sa NBA playoffs. Mamaya makakasama din po walang iba kung hindi ang chairman ng Philippine Basketball Association, si Chairman Ricky Vargas, at ang napipintong pagsisimula muli ng PBA sa kanilang tinaguriang Clark Bubble. Pag-uusapan po natin mismo ang chairman ng PBA ang ating makakasama. And of course, yung napabalita pong, tinanggal. Hindi natin alam kung ano talaga ang naging kwento dyan. Hihimayin din po natin yan. Yung dating coach ng Phoenix, si Coach Louie Alas, makakasama din po natin ngayong araw ito. Kaya talaga namang hitik na hitik sa balitang basketball. At siyempre, ang ating pulso ng bayan, mga kapatid, ay tungkol pa rin sa basketball. At ito ay aking naitanong na nga sa aking Twitter account Pero doon po sa ating mga nakikinig at gusto niyo makilahok sa amin ngayong araw na ito po ang ating tanong sa ating kuntahang basketball. Ang tanong po, alam naman natin magsisimula na ang PBA dapat sa October 9 kung sila ay aprubahan ng IATF. Ang tanong po, sino ang player o team na pinaka-aabangan ninyo sa muling pagbabalik ng PBA? Ulitin ko po yan, sino ang player? Isang manlalarong talagang giliw na kayo, nami-miss nyo na. O di kaya team, yung paborito nyong team na pinaka-aabangan ninyo sa muling pagbabalik ng PBA dyan po sa tinaguriang Clark Bubble. Kung gusto niyo po makikwentuhan, makihuntahan sa amin, mag-text lamang sa 0949-691-4956 o di kaya mag-post sa aming Facebook page, Power and Play with Nolly Iyala, o sa Facebook page ng Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM. Pwede rin po kayo mag-message sa akin sa Twitter, at Nolly Iyala. Alright! Siyempre, sisimulan na natin kaagad sa pamamagitan ng ating paboritong segment dito, itong Sabado ng umaga, kung saan talagang marami tayong pag-uusapan. Sasimulan na po natin sa pamamagitan ng ating Fast Take. Ito po yung ating portion kung saan tayo po yung nag-iimbita ng mga kaibigan natin, mga kapwa natin nasa sports media para po sila naman na magbigay ng kanilang opinion sa mga nangyayari dito sa ating mundo ng palakasan. At ngayon pong araw na to, tayo'y mapalad na makakasama natin dalawang talagang very eloquent at talagang pasok na pasok sa mga kwentuhang sports. Walang iba kung hindi ang tiga-spin.ph nating kaibigan si Randolph Leongson at ang ating kaibigan naman from ESPN 5, si Jat Sulit. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Randolph.
Magandang umaga, Kom.
Magandang umaga, Jat.
Good morning, Kom. Salamat po sa pag-imbita ninyo.
Naku, akong dapat magpasalamat dahil talaga namang napakaaga. Alam ko kayo laging nakatutok sa mga sports. Sabi ko nga kanina, napupuyat tayo because of the events in sports right now, no? Yun lang sa golf, naabot ako minsan ng alas 3, alas 4 ng umaga bago makatulog. Kaya, before I go to our fast take segment, let me ask the two of you. Alam naman natin, mainit ngayon ang NBA and later magsisimula na ang Western Conference Finals between Denver and the Los Angeles Lakers. Pambihira ang nagawa ng Denver. Alam natin na nakabalik sila from sa bingid ng alanganin at ngayon sila ay nasa finals. Randolph, what is your take? Let's just put it on a game-to-game. I don't want to put you on the spot, but on a game-to-game basis, ngayong araw na to, sino sa tingin mo? Nuggets, Lakers?
I'm not a Laker fan, pero feeling ko Lakers ang makakauna dahil siyempre gigil si Lebron nanalo si Giannis ng MVP.
Oh, that's a good point. Kanina pong umaga, nagbalita na rin ng NBA na ang kanilang hinirang na MVP ay walang iba kundi si Giannis Antetokounmpo ng Milwaukee Bucks, his second straight MVP award. And well, kahit hindi sabihin LeBron, I guess that is going to hurt for kay LeBron. Alam naman natin na kahit papano naghahabol ng kasaysayan si LeBron James.
Alam niyo naman po, Kom, lahat ng mga player, di ba, Randall, parang sasabihin niyan, it's all about winning the championship. Pero bilang isang manlalaro, hindi mo na maiwasan na competitive na gusto mo rin itong mga individual awards, whether you're consciously or unconsciously chasing them.
Tama yun. Kahit anong iwas nila dyan, talagang naihahambing sila sa pamamagitan ng kanilang record. And that's why those stats, those records, those titles, individual awards are always important on the resume, ika nga ng ating mga players. Alright, well, inimbita namin kayo para kayo ilagay sa hot seat. Ito po yung ating fast take. Randolph and Jot, ito yung bibigyan namin kayo ng 1 minuto to answer 3 burning issues that are going on right now in the world of sports. 1 minute na alam naman namin kayang-kaya ninyo. Napakaraming pwedeng sabihin dyan. At lagi namin sinasabi, bato-bato sa langit, tamaan, huwag magagalit. Walang pikon, opinion lamang ito ng mga kaibigan natin sa sports. So are you ready, Randolph and Jot? Ito ang ating unang fast take issue. Alam naman natin na katatapos lamang ng mga semifinals sa NBA. At ang daming mga nanalo, pero marami ring natalo. And ang tanong natin sa ating unang issue, sino ang biggest loser? Yung pinakamalaking natalo sa mga eliminated teams sa NBA? Bucks, Rockets, o Clippers? I'll start with you, Randolph. You have 1 minute. Go!
Tingin ko, ang biggest loser will be the Milwaukee Bucks dahil after what happened last year, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and nawala si Kawhi Leonard sa Toronto. Ang pakiramdam na nila, sa kanila na yung Eastern Conference Trophy. It was theirs for the taking. Pero siguro nagulat nga sila dun sa rumargas ng Miami Heat na nagulat sila pagdating dun sa Eastern Conference Semifinals. Nakita natin last year, virtually intact naman yung lineup nila and when they faced Boston dun sa Eastern Conference Finals, napadali yung kanilang buhay. So siguro napakalaking disappointment para kay Giannis na back-to-back MVP ka nga, pero parang mas kinapos ka pa ngayon dahil hindi ka man lang umabot doon sa semifinals na tinatawag natin.
Well, talagang sabi nga nila, may mga tao na alam natin ang level. At pag hindi mo narating yun, nakaka-disappoint. And of course, Milwaukee Bucks was dominating the entire regular season. Wala na nga gustong pumusta laban sa Milwaukee. Binigay na nga yung trophy dun sa East pero nawala pa. Alright, we'll go to Jat. Jat, again, ulitin ko yung fast take issue natin. Sino ang biggest loser sa mga eliminated NBA teams? Bucks, Rockets, o Clippers? Jat, you had 1 minute. Go!
Medyo similar po kami ng sagot ko ni Randolph dito. I'll also take the Milwaukee Bucks. Una po kasi, I think yung isang issue or one thing that I see is that intact yung lineup nila from the regular season. Kung yung ibang teams, merong mga nawala for a while. Itong Milwaukee Bucks, they were rolling with the same unit. Lagi nilang gamit. Number 2, it's kung kailan sila natanggal, tulad ni Randolph, parang nag-clear na yung way para makuha nila yung Eastern Conference Championship at the very least. Pero hindi nga nangyari, hindi man lang umabot sa conference final. Then you take a look at the Rockets. Sige, Danwell House lang yung nawala, pero alam natin yung role na nilalaro ng player na yun. No? Kung hindi man siya umopen sa stopper. Sa Clippers naman, para first year nitong magkakasama So, bigay natin tong adjustment year. Pero sa Milwaukee Bucks, maybe hindi in-expect agad mag-champion, mapapalaban, pero hindi naman kasi aga kung kailan sila natanggal.
Alam mo, very interesting yung mga sinabi mo, Jat, about the Clippers and the Rockets. Alam naman natin, ang Rockets ay playing against the odds. Ika nga, talaga namang yung kanilang sistema mahirap sabihing effective. Love it or hate it yun. On the other hand, ang Clippers naman, sabi mo nga, first year pa lamang nila magkakasama nila Kawhi. So, there's still an opportunity. As Paul George said, pwede pa sa susunod na taon. Pero marami ring na-frustrate sa nangyari sa LA Clippers dahil, again, they were star-studded at punong-puno ang kanilang lineup. Alright, let's go to our second issue. Sa ngayong umagang ito, sa ating fast take. Ang ating ikalawang fast take issue. Ano ang inyong pinakamalaking concern sakaling aprubahan na ng IATF yung tinatawag na PBA bubble na gaganapin sa Clark, Pampanga dahil doon daw gagawin yung simula ng PBA. So again, ano ang pinakamalaking concern ninyo sakaling aprubahan na ng IATF ang PBA bubble? You have 1 minute, Jat. I'll start with you. Go!
Siguro po, I'm just looking at it, iniisip ko na syempre yung model natin ay galing sa NBA dahil sila yung nauna na ligang nag-bubble. Yung nakikita ko lang po na posibleng concern for me is yung sa NBA kasi talagang strictong bubble Lahat ng kumikilot dun sa environment ay parte ng bubble na yun. Dito po sa PBA bubble natin sa Clark, kahit sabihin natin chartered yung mga players mula sa hotel papunta sa venue, yung mga dadaanan ng mga manlalaro, syempre may encounter pa rin tayo nasa kalsada na hindi naman natin control inside the bubble of the PBA. But I'm sure din naman at the same time na ito yung mga napag-isipan na ng ating minamahal na PBA. So, hindi rin naman ako ganun ka-concern but it's always safety lang talaga yung tinitingnan natin and I hope na maging effective tong bubble, makapagdala ng saya, and at the same time, lahat ng maging bahagi nito ay manatiling safe para rin syempre sa kanilang mga pamilya at sa sarili nila.
Excellent point. Again, yung PBA bubble po mga kapatid, hindi naman siya actually bubble. Sabi nga ni Com Willie, semi-bubble. So, wag lang tiny bubble. Yun lang sabi ko kay Willie, wag lang tiny bubble. Alright, Randolph, I'll throw the same fast take issue sa iyo. Ano ang iyong pinakamalaking concern sakaling aprubahan na ng IATF ang tinaguriang PBA bubble? You have 1 minute, Randolph. Go!
Medyo the same yung point ng kay Jat. It's more of dun sa contingency plans. Dahil nabanggit na nga natin na semi-bubble nga ito. Oo, chartered yung player sa Quest Hotel, which is 15-16 minutes drive away from the Angeles University Foundation kung saan sila lalaruin. But unlike the NBA na nakita natin yung successful, sa campus lang gagawin. Oo, kapareho ng NBA campus, pero hindi siya basically campus na nasa isang compound lang yung paglalaruan and yung charter ng player. So as much as meron tayo ditong ilagay na kumbaga pinagbabawalan natin yung players na masakit yung penalty nila, 100,000, yung fine, merong isang buwan na maawas sa salary and 5-game suspension para doon sa mga magpa-violate, hindi pa rin kasi natin masabi. Yun yung hirap sa pagiging unpredictable itong COVID. Hindi natin alam kung paano makakontakt and it can take na lahat mag-cooperate pero posible pa rin na merong makakalusot. Sana lang talaga walang mangyaring gano'n.
Sana nga. At alam naman natin, iniingatan niya ng unang concern talaga ng PBA. Ako, sa akin, and I totally agree with the two of you, yung health and safety protocols, ang malaking concern dyan. Ang isa ko pang concern, yung quality ng laro. Sa tagal na hindi naglalaro ang mga PBA players at hindi naman natin nakikita talaga yung 5-on-5 scrimmages yet. Ito pala, magsisimula pa lang yan. I'm just worried about the quality of the games at the same time, yung injury factor. So sana naman, walang mangyaring ganyan at talaga makapag-ensayo sila. Alright, let's go to our final issue of the morning para sa inyong dalawa sa ating fast take. Ito yung ating third and final fast take issue. Alam naman natin ang nangyari sa UST. Nagbitiw na si Coach Aldinayo dahil dun sa nangyaring Sorsogon bubble at ngayon sila iniimbestigahan. But at the same time, nag-alisa na ang player pero sila ay muling tumatayo. At nagsisimula yan sa pagpili ng bagong coach ng UST, Growling Tigers. So ang ating tanong dito sa ating final fast take issue, sino ang best fit para maging bagong head coach ng UST men's basketball team? Randolph, you have 1 minute. Go!
Intriguing kung kukunin ng UST yung mga Sean Chambers, yung mga Chris Gavina. Pero personally, I would like to see Aris Di Maunahan lead itong UST Growling Tigers. Una sa lahat, Tomasino to, kahit hindi siya nakapaglaro dun sa Team A ng UST under Coach Aric Del Rosario, he had the chance to work with those guys, sila Cyrus Baguio in the early 2000s. And what a perfect match din siguro coming from a team na rebuilding, na lost its core players, to have someone who had the chip in the shoulder na meron si Coach Aris. And dun sa brief run ni Coach Aris sa Blackwater, he was very impressive. So here is a guy na, merong Tomasian link. And then ito si Coach Aris kasi naging assistant coaches na dun sa ibang collegiate leagues with Coach Jericho Diñeras sa Arellano. So kumbaga well-versed na siya. So it would be very intriguing to see Coach Aris take the lead for the Growling Tigers.
Truly intriguing. Talagang maganda yung feeling yan. At saka, well, hindi naman from left field yan, pero dark horse si Aris Di Maunahan. As you said, Randolph, he played on the Team B. Nakasama ko yan sa San Miguel Beer nung nasa ABL si Aris. Ang ganda ng demeanor, napaka-gentlemanly, and obviously he's gonna be a good coach as a player's coach. Ika ngayon magde-develop. But of course, marami pang kandidato dyan. And again, ang tanong ko, Jack, sa iyo, in our final fast take issue, sino ang best fit para maging susunod na head coach ng UST Growling Tigers? You have 1 minute, Jack. Go!
Menato, if you allow me to take some would say safer route in this answer. Pero sa akin po talaga, I truly believe this na ang dami ng mga pangalan na very interesting. Yung Sean Chambers, nagulat ako na possible. Pero for me po kasi it's an open slate right now and I can't give one name kasi lang po parang wala ka pa rin, pati po yung mga manlalaro na wala. So it's really an open field for me. Kasi kumbaga, kung ikukumpara natin sa pagluluto, hindi mo pa alam yung luto mo kasi hindi mo pa rin alam na kung ano yung mga ingredients mo dahil nga naglipatan ng mga player. Pero ito rin yung magiging opportunity kung sino man ang papasok na UST head coach. Kasi makakapili siya ng luto dahil siya rin ang mga malengke ng mga rekadong gagamitin niya sa kanyang dish. So ito po yung magiging opportunity and there are a lot of talented Filipino coaches out there. I know UST will find the right one na patok sa kanilang eskwelahan.
Akala ko sasabihin mo, patok sa kanilang panlasa. Kasi puro luto. Talaga nagugutom ako dyan eh. But well said. Good answer. Talagang at this point, ang hirap piliin. Of course, there are a lot of names out there. Potit de Vera, si Ed Cordero, at of course, yung mga tiga-UST, Shot Tankinsen, Chris Cantonos, Estong Ballesteros, and many others. But it'll be a difficult choice indeed. Gentlemen, it was a great morning. Before I let you go, makikita ba namin kayo sa PBA bubble, Randolph and Jot?
Bantay lang po ako.
Bantay lang.
Sir Jerry.
Ikaw, Jot, ikaw ba magko-cover ka ng PBA?
I haven't heard mga detalye pa po sa ngayon, pero ang naririnig ko po ay baka sa mga commentators ay na lang po kami sa studio, tapos off the field na lang po kami. So, baka mas safe din po para sa lahat. Ayaw namin na sa aming pamanggaling yung mga problema.
Tama yun. Lalong-lalo na kung magko-cover mga senior citizen. Dr. J, magpagalit. Si Kinito. Guys, thank you so much for this morning. Maraming salamat. It was really very interesting. Thank you so much sa yung pagsama sa amin. Rando Johnson and Jot Salit, mga kaibigan. Thank you. Alright, talaga namang nakakatuwa yung mga kwentuhan na ganyan. Kasi alam niyo po, itong ating mga kasama sa sports media, ang dami nilang alam Minsan lang tahimik Ayaw maglabas ng bara kasi kanya-kanyang siyempre. Estilo yan. Pero very good takes coming from Jot Sulit. ESPN5 at si Randolph Leongson naman ng spin.ph. Puntahan nyo lagi, basahin nyo lahat ng kanilang mga sinusulat at ginagawa. Kamusta po kay Bruno Tumpag, Sir Nolly? Shoutout mo kami dito sa Maasim, Leyte. Naku, layo nito lalo na sa congressman namin, si Roger Mercado. Yes, sir. Kilala ko si Congressman Roger Mercado. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Marie Rivera, magandang umaga po. Ricky Bermejo, Kaliwan, good morning. Ermeline De La Rama, good morning, sir. God bless. Ito yung mga early tuners or viewers natin. Si Irene Pacheco, good morning sa inyo lahat. Teresita Barcelona, magandang umaga po. Noraida Abdullah, good morning, idol. Marami pa mamaya babasahin natin lahat yang ating mga maaga pong nakatutok sa atin dito sa Power and Play. Alright, at this point, tuloy-tuloy po tayo. Kasama na natin, hindi na natin kailangan pahabain pa to. Siya po ay naging laman ng balita last week at patuloy na magiging laman ng balita because he has always been outspoken, but more than that, he has been a terrific coach and a better gentleman. Walang iba kundi ang dating coach ng Phoenix Fuel Masters, si Coach Louie Alas. Good morning, Coach Louie. Andiyan na ba si Coach Louie? Medyo hahabulin natin ng konti. Tingnan natin kung nagkaroon lang ng konting delay yung pagpasok ni Coach Louie. So, again, batiin po natin yung lahat ng mga nakatutok pa sa atin. Si Rose Francisco Bacroya, magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Si Early Botoy Ehara, good morning. Si Sanlao Tarua, magandang umaga po. Alex Fuentes, ang ating suki, of course, mula sa Bacolod. Magandang umaga sa iyo, Alex. Happy weekend din. Alright, nandiyan na ba si Coach Louie? Mukhang may sabit ba ng konti? Baka nag-aalmusal pa. Baka nag-aalmusal pa. Alright, medyo siguro mag-break muna tayo. Mag-news break muna tayo sa aming pong pagbabalik. Coach Louie Alas ng Phoenix. Ito po ang Power and Play hatid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement at ng Cherry Loom.
Power and Play with Com Nolly Iyala.
Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay, Big Boss sa red, patag na, di basta bibigay. Nandito Boss Cement, matatag, di basta matitibag. Approve sa kalikasan at sobrang abot kaya. Big Boss Cement, Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay, Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM News Update.
Narito ang mga balitang hatid ng Radyo 5. Pinalawig ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte ang state of calamity sa bansa dahil sa COVID-19 pandemic. Epektibo ito mula noong September 13 hanggang September 12 ng susunod na taon base na rin sa kanyang inilabas na Proclamation 1021. Ang unang state of calamity na nilagdaan noong Marso ay nag-expire na kasi sa linggong ito. Ayon sa Pangulo, sa ilalim ng umiiral na state of calamity, papayagan ng national at local government na magpatuloy na gamitin ang kinakailangang pondo kabilang ang quick response funds sa disaster preparedness and response efforts para makontrol ang pagkalat ng virus. Magpapatuloy din ang mga basic services sa mga apektado ng pandemya. Pinahihintulutan din ng gobyerno sa ilalim na extended state of calamity na i-monitor at kontrolin ang mga presyo ng mga paunahing pangangailangan o bilihin. Inaatasan din dito ang mga law enforcement agencies na may suporta ng militar na magpatupad ng mga hakbang na magsisiguro sa kapayapaan at kaayusan sa mga lugar na apektado ng pandemya kung kinakailangan. Nitong nakaraang linggo, nilagdaan ng Pangulo ang Bayanihan to Recover as One Act 2 na magbabigay ng COVID-19 relief package na nagkakahalaga ng 165.5 billion pesos. Sa ibang balita, nagpositibo sa COVID-19 ang presidente ng Guatemala na si Alejandro Giamatti. Hindi naman binanggit ng 64-year-old na presidente kung nakararanas siya ng sintomas ng virus. Sinabi lang ng Guatemalan president na maglalabas siya ng statement sa susunod na mga araw hinggil sa kalagayan ng kanyang kalusugan. At yan ang balita. Ako si Mon Gualvez ng Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM.
Radyo 5 News Update.
Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay, Big Boss Cement, patag na, di basta bibigay. Nandito na ang Big Boss Cement, matatag, di basta matitibag. Approve sa kalikasan at sobrang abot kaya. Big Boss Cement, Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay, Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay.
Mukhang kailangan ko na palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Tuwing kailan ba natin dapat hugasan o isanitize ang ating mga kamay? Bago umalis ng bahay at pag-uwi ng bahay. Kapag hinawakan mo ang mga common surfaces, pintuan, switch ng ilaw, pindutan ng elevator, ATM machine, pera at iba pa. Bago at pagkatapos isuot ang iyong face mask. Bago at pagkatapos kumain. Pagkatapos gumamit ng banyo. Bago at pagkatapos hawakan ang iyong mukha. Ginagawa natin ito hindi lamang upang protektahan ang ating sarili, ngunit upang protektahan din ang iba. Para sa iba pa pong impormasyon, bisitahin ang Bida Solusyon at DOH official Facebook page. Tandaan, weekend #Bida Solusyon to COVID-19. Maraming salamat po.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Alright mga kaibigan, nagbabalik po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement at ng Cherry Loom. Kagaya kanina, sabi ko ating mga kasama ngayon, walang iba kundi ang dating coach ng Phoenix, Coach Louie Alas. Coach Louie, magandang umaga.
Magandang umaga, Commissioner.
Yun! Naku naman. Sa wakas.
Magandang umaga, Commissioner.
Magandang umaga. Busy-busy ka, alam ko eh. Talagang ikaw yung inahabol ng lahat ng mga ng mga sports media, Coach Louie. Kumusta ba ang buhay muna ng retirado?
Eto, busy-busy sa pag-aalaga ng apo ko, saka ng pag-aalaga ng bahay.
Yun ang ngayon may panahon palalo sa pamilya, ha. Pero siyempre yan ang ating gustong pag-usapan ngayon, Coach Louie, dahil alam naman natin na last week yung sabi nga nila diniscontinue, quote unquote, yung kontrata mo. Hindi naman nila sinabing sinisante, basta sinabi nila diniscontinue. Pero alam mo, marami pa rin interesado kasi bagamat nakapagsalita ka na sa ibang mga programa, Coach, nabanggit mo nga na nag-offer ka pa nga mag-resign pero hindi tinanggap. Ikaw ba, Coach, ito una kong tanong dahil dyan sa issue na yan. Meron na bang pahiwatig na ganyan ang kanilang balak o plano para sa'yo?
First and foremost, Commissioner, nung 3 years ago, nung nag-sign ako sa kanila, ang unang napag-usapan namin dyan, isa sa napag-usapan namin dyan is performance-based. So, pwedeng mangyari sa lahat ng coach na ganun ang kasunduan. Though hindi nakalagay sa contract, pero normally nangyayari to kasi pag feeling nila hindi ka na nag-perform, it can happen. And nangyari nga sa akin kasi yung last 2 conference ko na maraming mga bagay na beyond my control, like mga injuries, mga suspension ni Calvin. So nag-dip talaga yung performance and yun yung nangyari. And actually bago nga mag-pandemic, kinausap na rin ako ni Manager Bugia about it. Sabi niya, Coach, alam mo naman yung sitwasyon natin dito sa management na yung kontrata nyo ni Coach Topex will be based on your performance. Sabi ko, that I've said, kung ano napag-usapan natin, hindi naman ako kapit ko sa pwesto. Lahat sa akin, yung welfare ng team ang inuuna ko.
Alam naman natin, Coach, na ganyan talaga ang buhay ng mga coaches. Kahit saan man yan, kahit anong liga yan. NBA nga, ang ganda-ganda ng record, napapasibat pa, ang ganda-ganda ng pinapakita. And ikaw, Coach Louie, in all honesty, hindi sa dahil nandiyan ka, kahit papano, yung mga nagawa mo para sa Phoenix, unprecedented naman sa inyong kasaysayan sa team. In fact, you did very well sa Philippine Cup. Bago ka nagkaroon nga yung tinatawag mong unforeseen circumstances, mga injuries, and of course, yung mga suspension. But again, do you think that may konting pagka-personal ito? Kasi, ewan ko Coach, may nabanggit ka sa isang interview na parang, ito quote, na nakapag-commit ako ng unintentional na very, very slim. Mali talaga, pero sabi mo, i-fine ka na lang. At sabi ni Team Manager Bugia, parang, sabi mo, he found that a little arrogant. Meron bang konting sa tingin mo, may konting personal na issue, Coach Louie?
Hindi ko pwedeng masagot kasi sa text nangyari. That's why yun nga yung kinaklaro ko sa kanya. Sabi ko kay Manager Bugia, before, pag meron tayong ika-clarify, tinatawagan mo ako or tumatawag ako. Pero dito text lang. So sa sobrang eager ko na sa pagbabalik ko sa practice, kasi almost 6 months na nawala. So yung mga small violations na commit ko, unintentional, is nangyari na hindi ko naman tinatanggi sa'yo na nangyari. So nung itinext mo, sa sobrang frustration ko sa sarili ko, ang sabi ko sa kanya is, find me na lang. I did that, find me na lang. And he find it arrogant and parang kailangan mo, parang hinahamon ko siyang i-find ko siya. Sabi ko, kung tinawag mo sa akin yan, baka hindi ganun ang dating. So, hindi ko rin siya masisi kasi as I've said, iba yung dating sa text, iba yung dating sa conversation talaga.
So Coach Louie, let me get this straight. Itong buong proseso na to, na pag-alis sa iyo o pag-continue ng iyong kontrata, never kayong nagkaroon ng personal na usapan ng management? Ito'y puro lahat sa text at sa, kumbaga, long distance dahil dito sa mga nangyaring to?
Yeah, text and nung later on, nag-uusap kami ni Manager Bugia nga because gusto nga niyang, sabi ko nga sa kanya, 2 bagay kasi sabi ko, with this lineup sa atin, kung makakabalik si Calvin, this will be a competitive team. And I'm more than willing to finish my contract until October 31. So sabi ko, competitive to. And sabi ko nga, sad to say nga na injury si Junmar Pajardo. Pero sa injury niya, yung playing field naging parehas sa lahat ng teams. So sabi ko, competitive to. Pero sabi ko nga sa inyo, ang welfare ng team ang laging nasa sa isip ko. So, pero kung may naiisip kayong mas maganda, pwede ako makipag-compromise.
Okay. Coach, ano ang reaksyon ng pamilya? Kamusta naman ang pagtanggap ng balitang ito sa pamilya mo?
Medyo nagulat din dahil may contract pa nga ako hanggang October 31. So hindi masyadong inaasahan. Pero ako, at the back of my mind, after nung suspension na lahat nung nagsasabi, ako tinanggap ko yan positively. Sabi ko, itong suspension na to, kahit mabigat, without pay kasi yan, 15 days kahit mabigat, tatanggapin ko. Pero I'm turning this into positive kasi sabi ko, kung ako nga, nasususpindi nyo, what more yung iba pa na magbabiolate. Pero doon, sabi ko, napaka-stiff, napaka-bigat nung suspension dahil sabay din naman kaming umattend ni Manager Bugs doon sa PBA Coaches and Managers meeting na kung doon kami susunod sa penalty doon, hindi ganun kabigat yung sanction saka yung fine. Pero mukhang nag-wait sa kanila yung sagot ko na fine me na lang. Parang arrogant nga daw to authority.
So parang tingin mo, Coach, ano na yun? Preparatory na yun? Talagang, kumbaga, dun sa puntong yun, nag-iisip na ang management?
Medyo iniisip ko ng ganun. Then nung 10th nga, before 10th, kasi ang alam ko kasi, malilift yung suspension ko on the 10th or 11th. Nag-text na ako doon sa Viber group ng coaches with Manager Bugs and management na sabi ko, last day ng ko sa 10th, kailan ako magpapa-swab test para sa second batch of small group or closed circuit practice natin. Ang easily pwede niya sabihin sa akin na ang swab test schedule is ganito. Pero ang tinext niya sa akin is will message you, coach. So doon pa lang, I'm just reading between the lines.
Okay, you've taken the moral high ground, Coach. Alam naman natin, ganyan ka. You're a very gentlemanly person. Bagamat outspoken ka, marunong kang magdala ng mga suliranin. No? But you've taken that moral high ground, hindi ka nag-resign. Instead, nagpasalamat ka, of course, sa management and sa players and coaching staff. Pero tayo lang, wala naman nakikinig dito, tayong dalawa lang, Coach. May sama ka ba ng loob?
Siyempre, kasi feeling ko, maganda yung Hindi ko naman sinasabi, hindi ko ina-assure na magsisemis kami, mananalo kami. Pero feeling ko, pwedeng lumaban yung team. Sabi ko nga, competitive yung team. And bago nag-start bago nagkaroon ng pandemic, bago nag-start yung All-Filipino, nag-hire pa ako for 3 weeks with the help of management ng isang Croatian coach for this preparation for this conference. And we learn a lot from that coach. Actually, si Coach Daniel now is assistant coach sa EuroLeague. So until now, nag-communicate kami. And maganda yung preparasyon namin. It so happen lang may mga things beyond my control. So, it is what it is.
So talagang sa lahat ng bagay na nangyari sa'yo, ano ang pinanghihinayang mo? Yung the fact na talaga magiging very competitive ang Phoenix this season. Ganun ba yung, Coach? Isa sa mahalagang bagay. Ang pangalawa, kaya sinabi ko sa kanila na welfare ng team yung first and foremost sa akin. Ayaw kong iisipin na nagkikwit ako dahil, me, hindi naman talaga ako umayaw sa laban. And pangatlo, gusto ko kahit hindi ako ma-renew, umalis ako na pagkumpleto yung team ko, makikita nila na lalaban to from first second to the last second. Yun lang yung inano ko. Hindi ko nagawa yung dapat ko pang gawin. Hindi natapos yung dapat kong gawin. And lalo na dahil sa paghahanda na ginawa mo, nagpasok ka pa ng isang Croatian coach. Coach Louie, alam natin, moving forward, si Coach Topex na ngayon ang nahiring na interim coach ng Phoenix. Nagkaroon na ba kayo ng transition, turnover kay Coach Topex mula sa'yo?
Di na kami masyadong magkakausap ni Coach Topex kasi last time nag-uusap kami, kasi dati siya yung nagmi-mediate sa amin eh. Yung last time sinabihan daw siya na Coach Topex ako na makikipag-usap kay Coach Louie, so in-out na siya. Pero in fairness kay Coach Topex and in fairness na rin sa management, during the pandemic talagang tinutulungan kami lahat yan. Kaya sabi ko nga, yung respeto ko sa management, respeto ko sa players, hindi mawawala yan. Ito lang yung paghiwalay namin, hindi lang masyado maganda.
Okay. Let's go moving forward na tayo, Coach Louie. Nabanggit mo sa isang programa namin dito sa Signal TV, yung Chase Down, na hindi mo pa pinag-iisipan yung mga susunod mong hakbang. But that was about more than a week ago. So ngayon, mahigit na isang linggo, meron ka na bang mga plano? Napag-isipan mo na ba? At ano ba ang susunod na tutungtungan ni Coach Louie Alas?
Yung plano, wala pa akong plano kasi ako naman hindi ako nag-a-apply pa ng kahit anong trabaho. Pero pag may dumating sa akin dyan sa harap ko, may naka-ready akong program, may naka-ready akong gagawin sa dapat kong gawin. Kahit anong team, kahit sinong team yan. Kahit anong, kung sa PBA dumating, kahit anong capacity na pwede kong may tulong, gagawin ko sa college kung may dumating sa akin. I'm always ready, Commissioner.
Okay. So, so you are open to any team, maging PBA man yan, o collegiate, o semi-pro. In other words, si Coach Louie Alas is in the market sa kasalukuyan.
I'm a free agent.
Yo! Okay.
Ginaya ko si Coach De Anthony.
Okay, good. Ayan, pinag-uusapan yung mga coaches ng NBA. Sabi ko nga sa simula, talagang minsan tama yung kasabihan na players win games, coaches lose them. Coach Mike D'Antoni, si Billy Donovan, Brett Brown, Nate McMillan, puro magagaling na coaches ng NBA pero sa kadulo-dulo ng season, wala pa rin silang koponan. Do you think ito ay may hustisya sa mundo para sa mga coaches, Coach Louie?
Commissioner, sagot ko dyan, kahit wala man o meron. Yan yung realidad ng coaching. And dapat, alam mo na, hinahire ka, kasunod yan, pwede kang ma-fire. So, you just have to turn yung mga negativity into positive. Ganun lang kasimple.
Well said. And kaya kita hinahangaan. Talagang you're a very positive person. Nakita ko kung paano ka magtrabaho from all the way from Letran to your Alaska days na marami nagkwento sa akin tungkol sa ganyan. And I'm sure, sabi ko nga sa aking social media, hindi malayo makikita namin ikaw ulit sa basketball court. But let me just go. I mean, andito na rin naman tayo nagkikwentuhan. Alam naman natin nangyari din sa isa pang coach, si Coach Aldin Ayo, kung anong sabit ang nangyari sa kanya. But nung narinig mo yung penalty na kumbaga ban from the UAAP, sa tingin mo ba sobra yun naman o ang opinion mo si Coach Aldin Ayo deserve a penalty like that?
Deserving siya ma-sanction, pero deserving din siya magkaroon ng second chance.
Tama yun. At alam naman natin lahat ng tao kailangan ng second. So, well, in the same breath, Coach Louie, alam namin na you deserve a second chance. So, ang aking final question sa iyo, in your second chance, in your second life, mulit, sa pagko-coach, alam natin dating yan. Ano ang mga leksyon na natutunan mo dito sa episode na to na sa tingin mo ay magiging valuable sa iyo sa susunod mong pagko-coach muli?
Alam mo, Commissioner, yung nangyari sa akin, marami akong natutunan, especially nga dito sa Phoenix. Pero, gagawin ko lang uli yung program na inihatag ko sa kanya, nilatag ko sa kanya, with the premise na sana, yung mga things na beyond my control, magkaroon lang ako ng control. Kasi magagawa mo yung gusto mo, basta't kontrolado mo lahat ng lahat ng sitwasyon. And ulitin ko, walang regrets yung nangyari sa akin, and I'll just make myself better, and I'll make a better version of myself next time around.
Coach Louie, na-intriga lang ako. Ayokong bitawan yun eh. Ano yung mga things beyond your control? Are you talking about injuries lamang o may bang iba yan?
Injuries, talagang things beyond my control yan.
Oo,
Tapos
oo.
yung siguro, hindi ko sila napaniwala na because of what happened, pwedeng mangyari yung nangyaring performance namin. Kasi sa ibang team na nangyari yan, hindi na ako magbabanggit, pero mas marami namang mas masama yung nangyari sa aking performance eh. And kontrolado pa nila yung sitwasyon. Pero still nandun sa post sila because naniniwala sa kanila yung management. And that's why yun nga pala gusto kong i-share sa inyo. May mga points na binigay sa akin nung tineterminate nila yung contract ko na yun yung mga reasons daw na dahilan kaya ako na-terminate. So sinagot ko yun point by point and sabi ko, lahat ng nandyan, ganyan na ako nung hinire niyo ako. At actually, tinutulungan niyo ako nung nananalo tayo. Hindi lang at ginagawa niyo lang sa akin ngayon yan, ginagawa niyo sa akin reason yan, because we're losing and because siguro gusto niyo na rin ako i-terminate. Sabi ko, simple lang. Sabihin niyo lang na hindi ka nag-perform, okay ka na. Tapos na sa akin yung tatanggapin ko yun. Pero yung gagawan mo pa ako ng mga memos, ganon. So, nag-get back ako sa kanila, sinagot ko point by point. Para lang klaro.
Ika nga, mabuti na yung malinaw kaysa sa malabo. Yun lang naman ang punto dyan. Well, Coach Louie, sabi ko nga, we certainly wish you the best. Sana nga, muli kang makakita namin. I'm pretty sure muli kang babalik sa basketball. Wala akong kaduda-duda dyan. In the meantime, stay safe, Coach, at tayo magkikwentuhan pa sa mga susunod na araw.
Commissioner, nagpapasalamat lang ako doon sa pinost mo. Talagang really appreciate it. And maraming salamat sa paniniwala. At ganoon din sa lahat mga nagpo-post sa akin sa social media. And rest assured, basta dumating uli yung pagkakataon, hindi ko baguhin yung kung paano ako hardworking, kung paano ako maniwala sa ginagawa ko. At gagawin ko yan palagi. At maraming salamat.
Thank you so much, mga kaibigan. Yan po si Coach Louie Alas, dating coach ng Phoenix Fuel Masters. And alam natin, babalik at babalik din. Basta sabi nga nila, talent always finds a place. You can never put a good man down. And talking about good men, ako, ito na, susunod nating huntahan, mga kaibigan. Tuloy-tuloy lang tayo dito sa Power and Play. Ito, kailangan na natin simulan kagad kasi very busy itong susunod nating guest, mga kaibigan. And alam nyo, sa dami ng kanyang hinahawakan pwesto, talaga namang tayo mapalad na makasama siya today. Siya po ay hindi lamang presidente ng ABAP, siya po ay miyembro din ng executive board ng POC, dating pangulo ng Philippine Olympic Committee, siya po ay miyembro din ng Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas, and of course, kilala bilang chairman of the board ng PBA. Walang iba kundi si Chairman Ricky Vargas. Good morning, Chairman Ricky.
Good morning, Nolly. Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
Naku, boss. Thank you so much, Chairman, for joining us. Alam nyo, kaya ako talagang gustong-gustong makasama kayo, lalong-lalo na this time, dahil biglang naging Pasko in September for many fans dahil doon sa balita ninyo the other day na magbabalik na ang PBA. Alam naman natin how everybody is looking forward to the PBA's return, lalong-lalo na ang ating mga milyong-milyong mga fans. Chairman, kayo ba ever, and this is just to start the conversation between us, did you ever even doubt for a moment na babalik ang PBA?
Well, you know, Nolly, I think this was the most difficult chairmanship I ever had during this pandemic because we had to not only take care and think about of our people, but also the teams, no, and how we can get going. Yes, I doubted. There was a time I doubted, but I wanted to take it off my head Com. So we had no choice. We just had to go through this. We had no choice. Yeah.
Chairman Ricky, just to tell us a little bit, anong impact sa liga and sa teams itong 7 months stoppage ng PBA, 6-7 months stoppage?
Malaking bagay financially, malaking bagay, no? At saka yung mga teams, they continue to pay their players, and yun ang naging agreement namin, and their OPEX continues, and they're not getting any values from it, no? Tas tigil ang revenue stream ng PBA. So we were working off our cash balances, no? So swerte rin. And the biggest challenge dito sa iniisip namin itong bubble was considering the condition of the teams, the league, and then all that, whether the PBA could afford to just pay for everything in the bubble.
That's true.
Well, thank God, we managed, no? Laking tulong din ni Secretary Vince at saka ni Chairman Manakil ng Clark Development.
Wow, that's very interesting na may ganyan pong pagtulong ang pamahalaan sa pagbabalik ng PBA. But ang isa pang swerte ay ang PBA, Chairman Ricky, because alam naman natin na ang PBA chairman nagro-rotate. But in your case, because hinahirang kayo ng PBA board to lead the PBA, and your experience, the fact that you have the past few years you have already been leading the board, malaking bagay yan, I'm sure, sa decision making ng PBA board.
They have been very cooperative. We have all agreed in one vision. So the discussion has always just been on execution. So that's where the discussion left. But we were moving forward with one vision and one view.
Okay, let's go to the actual decision ninyo, Chairman Ricky, on the bubble. I know it's not a full bubble, it's a semi-bubble as you have described, and also kay sabi ni Com Willie. But before I go to the actual details of the bubble, you had three, nababalita to na merong 3 pinagpipilian ang PBA board just before you made the decision sa Clark. Can you tell us ano yung 2 pang napagpilian nyo, Chairman Ricky?
Alam mo, maybe now it can be told. There were about 20 who we spoke to that wanted to host the games, no, and do the bubble. Then we brought it down to a manageable 5 or 6. Then we had 4 of them make a presentation. Then there was 3. And then there was 1. Okay, so it was a long process, and I tell you, Nolly, the board was working day, noon, and night, no. And some members of the board, an executive committee that Willie put together, was also looking at it in a more detailed way, no. So ganda sana.
Ano yung mga factors, Chairman, na kinonsider ninyo in deciding for Clark?
Unang-una, safety, di ba? So, do they have enough space for us to assure that there's safety, no? And number 2, the medical facilities was also important. Whether there was medical facilities and there was a strict protocol of entry and exit. And number 3 was the cost, no? The cost was very important to us as well, no? And the facilities, not only on the playing court, but also the well-being. Diyos ko naman, kung 2 months yung mga player, sila-sila lang, walang ginagawa. Parang ang hirap din sa well-being nila yun, no? And 5th was the communication. There's got to be very strong connectivity because of it's going to be broadcasted. Yeah. And you yourself as a broadcaster, no, walang audience. Kailangan nga yung broadcaster, yung nagko-commentate doon, buhay na buhay, di ba? So, to bring it to your living room, yeah? Right. So those were a lot of the things that we were talking about.
Okay, let me get to a couple of points that you made, Chairman. No, yung una yung cost, no. Ano ang ika nga shoulder ng PBA at ano man ang naipasa sa mga host. And can you give us a little bit of an estimate? Alam niyo po, yung NBA bubble, the estimate cost is $150 million, no? Just to stage that NBA bubble. Can you give us a ballpark figure of what this enormous project will cost you?
Yeah, I think the commissioner has always stayed away from that question, but I'll tell you. So close to 65 million.
Wow,
which is cost to us. Which is cost to us. Ang pinakamalaking parte sa cost is the accommodation and the food. So we got a lot of discounts on the venue. We got a lot. In fact, thanks to Clark, even the testing now is for free. No, it could have been more than that.
Yeah. Is the testing going to be a daily, Chairman?
It's an antigen test, no? We formed a committee headed by Dr. Canlas, no? Before the game, we'd like them tested. After the game, they want them tested. When they get into the bubble, we want them tested. But no, it's being firmed up yet with the science, no? With the science. So I cannot actually tell you exactly how it is, but that's safety measure. Yeah.
Let me ask you also, Chairman, about yung accommodation. Sabi mo nga, yan isa sa malaking cost ninyo. Are you exclusively going to be in Quest Hotel? Wala nang ibang tao dyan? And if so, yung sinasabi mong importante yung well-being ng mga players for 2 months. Some players will be there for about 2 months, 49 days to be exact. Meron bang ibang facilities kagaya ng ginawa nila sa NBA na pwedeng gawin ng mga players?
Well, yes, we will be there all together at Quest. And second, Clark is a city in itself, diba?
That's right.
Clark City is in itself. And it is also the strength of Clark to be able to give us that facility, including golf.
Yeah.
That will be that anyone who wants to play golf. And, you know, they have police force, and they have their own hospitals. They have their own quarantine and protocol, medical protocol. So we will follow all of that.
Okay.
But more importantly, we will accede to whatever the IATF says in terms of protocol that they would like to add or ask us to abide with. Yeah.
Isang bagay, Chairman, sa NBA bubble was the fact that nung una, puro players lamang yan, and of course, essential personnel ng NBA, and of course, a few media personnel. Ganyan din ba po ang modelo ng PBA na wala munang mga pamilya na maisasama, or will there be a point where the players can actually also bring their families into the bubble?
Yeah. Good question. Sa NBA, I think they had a total of 37 in the bubble. 17 players and 10 team sport. In our case, it's going to be 25.
Okay.
And that's it. They
Wala
cannot leave. They cannot go. If they leave, they're out. Okay, that's what it is. They cannot return, and that's the bubble. That's the bubble itself. Only 25 per team.
Okay.
So if I want to go there and join the bubble, that means I am number 25. So that takes out somebody from the team.
Okay.
So that's what.
So ang ibig sabihin nun, Chairman, talagang hindi makakasama ang pamilya. Definitely.
Hindi. No. We will keep it really sacred. We're looking at about 350.
Ang dami. Ang dami niyan. Ang hirap i-police.
Ang challenge nga is yung broadcast, Noli. I think you know this, di ba? It's better if the analysts are inside the Coliseum, and then how do you broadcast it to the rest of do we create a press corps room outside of the bubble, no? So those are the things, and it should be actually live, di ba? Live, and interactive.
nagsabi na si Commissioner Willie na maglalagay din kayo ng mga LED panels dun sa venue
sa
para
loob ng venue.
para din ganahan yung players. Kasi I've always said na ang problema sa paglalaro na walang fans is the energy level. Siyempre, iba pa rin, Chairman, alam naman natin yan. When there are many fans watching, talagang tumataas din yung level of play. And let me go to that point actually, yung level of play, Chairman. Are you confident na yung ating level of play will be will be maintained even with all of these stoppage that we've done, and at the same time hindi pa nga sila nakakapag 5-on-5 scrimmages?
Oo nga, there is a commitment to play their very best, and I'm sure the teams will be very competitive as well, no? To what extent will that show during the games? I hope that the players, when they were talking to the commissioner, shows their commitment in the court as well, no? So,
Chairman, there are some critical issues, of course, that still remain, no? And one of these is, of course, yung opt-out. Is there a usapan sa PBA board na kasi sa NBA, they were allowed for medical reasons. In fact, even for non-medical reasons, yung si Avery Bradley, he did not want to join because sabi niya yung kanyang anak is susceptible to respiratory illnesses. So he was very concerned about that. Has that been discussed na pwedeng ang players mag-opt out and their salaries will still be maintained despite of not playing in the bubble?
Okay, kung nasa bubble ka na, if you opt out, that will come with it some penalties, no? So that we will impose on the player. Kung mag-opt out ka bago ng bubble, that's a contractual issue that will have to be discussed with the team itself as well. So that's what. Now, napaka-stricto namin eh. So and there will be no one that will be allowed to leave. If you leave, you cannot enter anymore.
And all of those penalties are going to be imposed. So in other words, talagang in or out ka. Ganun na lang, Chairman, ang dating dyan.
Kasi alam mo, if you are less than 6 left in the team, wala, disqualified ka.
Yun nga yun ang isa pang tatanungin ko. Paano kung nag-positive ang isang player, mafo-forfeit, or yung karamihan ng player, mafo-forfeit ba yung games o postpone?
Yun ang mga... mafo-forfeit yun. You cannot play. Hindi ba parang FIBA? Remember this classic game of the Philippines and Australia?
Yes.
Where everybody was asked to leave the court, and there were only four people playing
left.
Left until it became 2, until it became 1. Ngayon, hindi na pwede. Kasi kung isa na lang, wala ka na mapapasahan ng bola. so the game continued. Sa PBA, sabi namin, 6.
Okay. All right, Chairman, there's one other critical issue, I guess, is, ito binanggit na rin ni GAB Chairman Baha Mitra. Ito po yung IATF approval. Of course, we have not, ito plano to ng PBA, but it still is subject to the approval of the IATF. Ano po ang sitwasyon na? Have you submitted the request, and ano po ang backroom discussions dyan, or kung may official channel discussions?
I understand we submitted a request for the scrimmages, and yesterday we also submitted a request for the bubble. So ang kagandahan dito, we are also working with Secretary Vince and the chairman of Clark, Chairman Manikil, and also we are in touch with GAB Chairman, who's been very, very, very helpful in seeing to it that that sports continue on the professional side. So we have our fingers crossed. Isa pang biggest supporter namin, at pwede ko ba sabihin, si Senator Bongo. Napakalaking supporter namin yan. So he loves basketball, and basketball loves him too. So yun. But at the end of the day, sabi nga nila, we need to follow all that IATF and the Department of Health protocols are, and we will do that. We will do that, and we will patiently wait for their approval.
Okay. Alam naman natin, Chairman, siguro kalahati ng Senado puro mga mahihilig sa basketball yan. Hanggang kay Tito Sen, kay Senator Tito Soto, naku, mahilig ko sa basketball talaga ang ating Senate President.
I think isa lang naman ang concern nila, hindi wag magkahawaan, at we can also protect the people outside of the bubble or inside of the bubble, that we don't create another pandemic, and we appreciate that very much.
And I guess at the end of the day, Chairman, it's really kung ano yung gusto ng tao talagang yun ang ating binibigay. Chairman, moving forward, and I know marami na kayong pinag-uusapan, pero ewan ko kung premature ito, but moving forward, you're looking at the next season with or without the vaccine. May plano na ba po ang PBA?
Alam mo, kung magiging successful tayo dito sa bubble, and it will open up the economy, and it will become a more engaged environment, lalo na sa sports, di ba? Kailangan na natin. Kung matuloy yung Olympics, wala pa tayong ginagawa. Other countries have opened up already. So maraming models that we can work with, no? And if we follow those models, it will be, I foresee that sports will be back.
Yeah. Well, that is the intention, I suppose, ng PBA.
Yes.
Talaga naman just to bring back a semblance of normalcy. But, just before I let you go, Chairman, I want to ask this. What does this mean to the country? Ito pong pagbabalik ng PBA. Itong planong bubble at yung ginagawa ng PBA for basketball.
Yeah. No, we discussed that thoroughly, actually. First, what does it mean for us, the PBA? No? Una, balik trabaho, balik buhay ang PBA, but more importantly, we said, even if we have to spend for it, diba? Even if we have to take some money in our equity, even if we have to get lower share in the equity. Ang sabi ng mga team owners, sabi ng mga PBA Govs, this is about time that we give it back to our fans, whom we think will need it for, who will appreciate it most when we bring back the PBA. No? So that was what was in it for us, and what motivated us. What motivated us was exactly saying, kailangan na ito, ibalik na natin sa fans. Ngayon lalo na sa pandemic, no? But now on a country, this is the sport that everybody loves, that most of us love, that the whole country loves. Bringing it back on air is a win. Not only from an entertainment value, but from a mental health, or from a economic opening up of an economic that there is hope that the activities, no. So this, we think we can contribute to that, but also, when you look at the number of people that we will employ, the hotels will be opening, the gyms will be opening, and all the rest of the paraphernalia. There was one bidder who said, we asked him, what is your motivation to bid for this for this game? So he says, I just want to give work to my people. So,
excellent. No.
So that touched us also. So yun ang importante.
Well,
and our role is to keep them safe. Di ba? Our role is to keep them safe.
Well, alam niyo, German, talagang from a perspective of the country, of what the psyche of the Filipino, talaga naman yung pagbabalik ng PBA parang normal na naman. Hindi nga tayo normal, pero alam niyo naman ng PBA, pagka nagbabakbakan na si Jason Castro at saka si Chris Ross. Iba na yung dating eh. Para nakakalimutan na yung problema ng pandemya. Kaya it's really good to hear that.
Ang problema lang yun, baka magtuloy-tuloy yan ng mga
hanggang hotel. Hanggang hotel. Kailangan yun ang bantayan mabuti. Chairman Ricky,
Opo.
It was really fun. Marami po salamat and marami kami napulot na mga bagay tungkol sa PBA's restart. I'm sure that marami pa kayong i-announce in the future, in the coming days. But more than that, we're just simply happy na magbabalik na. And of course, we're praying na ma-approve na po ng IATF ang pagbabalik ng PBA.
Salamat po, Noli. Salamat.
Salamat po. And wish you all the best. You're looking good. And stay safe,
Thank
sir.
you.
Stay safe.
Thank you, Fee. Thank you.
Yan po mga kaibigan, si Chairman Victorico Ricky Vargas ng PBA. Naku, ang dami natin napulot doon. This will cost them about 65 million pesos. And of course, kung hindi pa tumulong sila Mr. Vince Dizon, si Mr. Vince Dizon ng Clark, and of course yung iba pa mga government officials, talagang mahihirapan. Of course, marami pa pong tumutulong sa atin dyan sa pagbabalik ng PBA. Congratulations ulit. Commissioner Willie, marami kang trabaho na naman. Alright, at this point mga kaibigan, gusto namin pong magpasalamat lamang sa mga tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. Siyempre, unahin natin ang ating mga kaibigan sa Big Boss Cement. Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay. Nandito na ang Big Boss Cement, di basta matitibag, approved sa kalikasan at sobrang abot kaya. Marami po salamat kay Chief Company Innovator and President Engineer Gilbert Cruz ng Big Boss Cement. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Kung kayo po may pangangailangan sa inyong roofing materials ngayong panahon ng tag-ulan, tag-araw, sa pandemya, Cherry Loom lang po ang inyong puntahan. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. At kami po nagpapasalamat kay Mr. Elmer Ngo at ng lahat ng mga taga Cherry Loom. Elms Resto Bar and Group. Maraming salamat sa patuloy na pagsuporta. Meron po sila mga party platters, free delivery, cashless transactions. Kumpleto yan. Marami po silang mga branches. Diyan po sa Robinsons, Novaliches, Makati sa Poblacion, sa Calle Bistro sa Commonwealth, and of course, sa Brixton Street sa Pasig. Yan po ang Elms Kapihan and Bar, the Elms Resto Bar Group. Tawagan lamang ninyo 8234-5554. Thank you so much kay Malu Yambao. And of course, marami po salamat sa Joyride, kasundo sa pagtulong. Wherever you are, whatever you need, we can deliver and we'll do it for you for as low as 49 pesos. So book lamang ng delivery at pabili needs ninyo via Joyride. Make sure you download the latest Joyride and Happy Move app. Joyride, kasundo sa pagtulong, ang inyong bagong kasundo. Marami din po salamat sa Makalage Professional School of Makeup Artistry, ang ating official hair and makeup sa Power and Play. Marami din po salamat, of course, sa Skin, your face and body anti-aging center. Meron ba kayong mga skin concerns? Skin Now has online consultations from Mondays to Saturdays. Alas 3 po hanggang alas 5. Text labang ng inyong mga detalye sa 0917-890-1640. Happy birthday nga pala kay Dr. Richie Sarmiento. And of course, hello kay Ma'am Dr. G. Sarmiento ng Skin, Face, and Body Anti-Aging Center. Ako, ang dami nating mga dapat batiin pa. Binabati po namin lahat si May Ann Mendoza, Cabrera Martinez Chavez, Ronchares Pilo, Evelyn Maceda, magandang umaga po. Ondet Amoncio Katubig, morning po mula sa Polonulong, South Cotabato. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat dyan. Binabati natin lahat yung mga tao dyan sa General Santos City. Magandang umaga po. Yan ang bayan ng aming isang kasama dito sa bahay. Good morning sa lahat sa bayan ni Senator Manny Pacquiao. Alright, tuloy-tuloy po ang Power and Play. Sabi nga namin sa inyo, all-day basketball. Kanina, napag-usapan natin ang coaching ni Coach Louie Alas, yung PBA bubble, and now let's go to the main event. Ika nga sa amin ni Michael Bruffer. The NBA, kung saan patuloy po ang conference finals nila. And right now, to discuss the NBA and all of its drama, walang iba kundi ang ating mga kaibigan, Gino Rufino and Aaron Ataide. Morning, guys! There you go. Yan! Morning, Gino. Good morning, Aaron. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Always come.
Alam mo, sabi nga nila, sabi ko kanina, di ba na mapuyat, basta ganito naman yung mga napapanood natin. Napakagandang mga laro. And so far, before I start going into the details of what has happened so far, but there have been some shocking games here in the bubble. Of course, the two top seeds in the East have fallen. Alam naman natin na nangyari doon sa mga comeback ng Denver. And of course, yung mga deficits na nawawala, biski double digit yan. Do you think this would have happened without the bubble? I'll start with you, Gino.
No, I think we're in uncharted territory. Syempre, wala rin mga home court advantage. If you think about it, what happened with Denver, some of those games were supposed to be played in Staples Center. And I don't think na yung ginawa nila against the Clippers, specifically against the Clippers, but also against the Jazz, could have happened had the home court advantage of the Jazz. And maybe the Clippers, if you want to say the Clippers have home court advantage. I don't think the Nuggets could have forced 7 games. Pero ganda ng mga laro.
Sobrang ganda. And Aaron, alam naman natin that many records have been broken here in the bubble. Does the fact that you're playing in a contained environment like the bubble take away from any of these records?
I don't think so. I think that records will, if they're going to be broken, doesn't matter if it is under a rock in a bubble or on home court. I think that a record, if someone deserves to own it, it should be theirs. The one thing that I did notice with the bubble, and whenever I watch the games, comparing it to how the playoffs were before, pagdating kasi ng playoffs, that's where we see veterans stepping up. But this time around, you see that the younger players are the ones that are a little bit more locked in now. Maybe because they don't have to go through the travel. Maybe they're not distracted by the fans or distracted by all of these different outside factors. But the younger guys like Duncan Robinson or Tyler Hero or Jamal Murray, they are so locked in because there's no distraction. It's basketball, and that's what they are made to do. That is what they are best at doing. That's their God-given gift, and they're just taking advantage of it now.
Ito, sabi sa akin ni Coach Norman Black to, but that, because I said the same thing. I said the veterans would, theoretically, mas magaling sa bubble because walang travel, walang fatigue factor. Pero sabi ni Coach Norman, young guys typically play well at home and not on the road. So in this scenario, walang home court advantage, walang mga road games. So that's his explanation to me na parang why na I guess the young guys have really, really stepped up.
And that's why napakaganda ng mga laban because talaga namang they're very well rested and of course they've adjusted to playing in that particular venue. Now, let's just go post-mortem sa mga nangyari just before we tackle this the conference finals, just a little bit of a post-mortem. And I want to play a blame game here, okay? Let's play a blame game here.
Good morning, everybody.
Meron tayong, sabihin natin, we have a pie, okay? Pizza pie. Alam ng mga tao, pizza pie, okay? Okay, if it is, in terms of the Clippers, if you're gonna put a blame game on that pizza pie, how many parts of that pie go to Kawhi, to Paul George, and to Doc Rivers? I'll start with you, Aaron.
I want to blame what happened to the Clippers on the Laker fans. That's not part of the pie, but I will put all 100% of the blame completely on Laker fans, just like Gino Rufino, who have belittled this team and have eaten away at their confidence. Alam mo, feeling ko after nung game, lahat sila umiiyak sa shower dahil natatakot sila sa mga sasabihin ng mga Laker fans. Grabe yung mga Laker fans, mga rabid. Mga rabid.
So you don't want to put any blame on that?
No. In all seriousness, I will put the blame on Coach Doc Rivers. I know that people are saying that you need to have chemistry and that, it's a shortened season. They have 8 new players. But if LeBron and AD can do it, they were in the same situation. Brand new piece. One of the biggest piece comes in. And for the Lakers, it's a brand new coach with Doc Rivers. He's been there at the Clippers for a while. I want to put it on Doc. He's the first coach to ever lose 3 series after leading 3-1. He has the worst Game 7 record. I mean, he's a great coach. He has a lot of winning pedigree in him. But this is not one of the times that we saw it. It's where we saw him losing some really important games.
Gino?
Before I say my pizza pie percentages, I want to say that remember when the Miami Heat first made it, when they had that big 3, they also lost their first year. So I expect the Clippers to bounce back next year if they stick together, because they need to learn to lose together first before they win together. So having said that, part of it, I think it's equal opportunity for the 3 that Paul mentioned, whether it's Coach Doc, Kawhi, and Paul George. But I think the biggest factor also is that the team had so much swagger and so much yabang in them throughout the entire season, and especially in the bubble, trash talking people, trash talking other players, opposing players. Dame Lillard, example lang. Parang that I guess ego got in the way of what they were supposed to accomplish. I think that had a factor in it. So the guys, specifically Pat Bev, Montrezl Harrell, to a certain extent, Morris. So that's all those things that I guess the things that give you the attitude that would you'd think that would benefit the team actually backfired, because everybody was so against them dahil sa mga ginagawa nila, sa mga extracurricular activities ng ginagawa ng Clippers.
But to also add on to what Gino is saying, maybe a big piece of the pie that a lot of people are not, I mean, because of the stigma and the way that we were looking at the Clippers, the biggest piece of the pie of why the Clippers lost were just how amazingly good the Denver Nuggets really are. I think we are cutting them a little bit too little of credit for this. This team is great. Nikola Jokic is arguably the best center in the league. Jamal Murray is arguably the best scorer in the league. And when you put them together, it's hey, with Kevin Durant injured, Steph Curry injured. Gino, are you going?
Big words from Aaron Natade. Big words.
Hey, arguably he's top 5 scorer in the league right now.
True. No, but again, the reason why a lot of people are putting the heat on the Clippers, no pun intended, is the fact that everybody's already said give them the title even before, at least in the West, no. And of course the way they spurned the Lakers just before the start, no, everybody didn't want to join LeBron, and now they're going home. So anyway, okay, because I know Gino has a lot to say, but let me go first to something that also post-mortem. Let's go to the East. How big, gaano kalaki yung pagkatalo ng Milwaukee Bucks? I mean, is this the end of that experiment, Gino?
I don't think so. I think that the team sa regular season showed what they can do. They were the number 1 team sa buong liga. When the league was put on pause and the restart happened, they never found the groove again, and they got by sheerly because they were good. So they managed to hold on to the number 1 seed and make it to the second round, but never did they look as dominant as when they started during the regular season. So I think that same thing as what you were saying, Com, that the great expectations on the Clippers kind of backfired also. The same thing happened with the Milwaukee Bucks. So, I mean, and the same thing that Aaron said, you have to give credit to their opponents. I think Miami was really has maybe been the most dominant team in the bubble. So I think they just ran into a situation they weren't prepared for. I think Giannis actually deserved the MVP, to be honest with you. And I think that the team, if they stick together, which in my opinion they should, maybe add one piece or two pieces, and they should be back next year.
All right. Let's go to the Final Four, Aaron. Denver, LA will begin at 9 o'clock today. I think nagsimula na. Okay,
Yes,
nagsimula na.
started.
And it's game one. But, when you look at, sabi mo nga, Denver has been really good in these playoffs. Really good with Jokic and Murray. But again, when you look at their game and we know how good LA has been as well, they've probably been the most consistent so far in the season. Do you see facets of the Denver game that may be used and may be factors in beating the powerhouse Los Angeles Lakers?
Yeah, and I think, me and Gino have talked about this. Game one for the Lakers is going to be the most dangerous one for them because they are known for dropping the first game of the series. And when you're looking at Denver, this is a team that you cannot give away wins to. The Lakers need to clamp down. They need to get it going, and they need to win. It's going to be an amazing matchup with Nikola Jokic and Anthony Davis, mainly because Nikola Jokic doesn't play any defense. We're gonna be seeing a lot of Paul Millsap maybe guarding AD. You might see LeBron taking on Jamal Murray. If LeBron sees that Jamal Murray is kind of popping off, and you see these kumakanash na siya galing sa labas, it's going to be an incredible series. I think that the Lakers still have a little more in the star power, and when you're later in the playoff, star power is what wins you games. But I still think that the Lakers are going to come out on top. Denver will put up an incredible fight, but I think that the LA is going to be heading on into the NBA Finals.
Gino, we've seen the head-to-head matchup of LA and Denver. Lamang ang Lakers 3-1, but it hasn't been a blowout. The average margin has been about 5.5 points between these two teams. Of course, the regular season games sometimes don't really count so much, including the seeding games in the bubble, which is one of the 4 games. So, but do you think at this point, alam natin, kapapasok lamang ng LA, balik sa playoffs? On the other hand, this is the first time in 11 years that Denver is in the conference finals. Who is hungrier between these two teams?
Honestly, I think the Lakers are hungrier, only because there's certain factors. You said the last time that the Denver Nuggets were in the Western Conference Finals was a long time ago. Actually, in kalaban nila nun, the Lakers. With Kobe Bryant. And I think that factor, the Kobe factor for the Lakers, win it for Kobe, is there. And alam ni LeBron, a lot of his legacy is riding on this season. The Denver Nuggets, I don't want to say na happy na sila to be here in the Western Conference Finals because nobody expected them to be here. Because you can see, you don't come back down 3-1 in 2 different series if you're not hungry.
Yeah.
Clearly they are. Pero yung difference lang, I think that the Lakers, there's a lot of outside factors rather than just the team. I'm talking about yung organization, yung ownership, the fan base in Los Angeles, the fan base around the world that are putting the pressure on them. But it's the pressure that they actually can use as fuel in order to get past the Denver Nuggets. Pero tama si Aaron, may hirapan yung Lakers dito.
Okay, Aaron, very quickly, who do you think is hungrier before we shift over to the Heat-Celtics game?
I don't know who's hungrier. It's hard to call. But the one thing that I do know is that the Nuggets have played 22 games already in the bubble. The Lakers have only played 18 with AD and LeBron taking a couple of games off during the bubble. So the Nuggets have been playing basketball for a very, very long time. A lot of games in just a short amount of time, rather. 22 games, and these are high-intensity playoff games. I hope that the Nuggets fans, like Chris Newsom, who's a very good friend of me and Gino, are ready because LeBron and AD are going to be pounding this ball in, and they're going to try and tire the Nuggets out. I still give the Lakers a little bit of an edge in that term.
All right, now let's go to the Heat, the Celtics series back in the East. 2-0, lamang ang Miami over Boston, but it has been closer than that. Obviously, the first game was an overtime game. Where has the advantage been so far for Miami, Gino?
Coach Spo. I think it's Coach Spo and Jimmy Butler.
Even against Brad Stevens, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought that Brad Stevens was the best coach in the NBA, or at least top 2. But I think what coach
Kinabahan ako sa sasabihin ni Celtics fan eh.
pero yung pinakita ni Coach Spo with what he can do with this team, nobody thought that the Heat would make it to they imagined mga 8th seed, mga 7th seed, but nobody imagined that the Heat would be this good before the season started, before the regular season started, and before the restart started. So Coach Spo somehow managed to get talagang pinipigan niya yung what he can get out of these players. And the Jimmy Butler and Coach Spo and the Heat culture, match made in heaven. Parang perfect fit sila. And all the young guys, including Tyler Hero, who has been pretty good, Duncan Robinson, who's been shooting lights out. He's had maybe 1 or 2 bad games. And of course, Bam! Grabe yung pinapakita nila. So, I think there was an article that came out that said Coach Eric Spoelstra is the biggest weapon of the Heat in the bubble. And pinapakita niya kasi he's outmaneuvering Brad Stevens. And I never thought that was going to be possible. He's countering and countering and countering, and his players have responded better than Brad Stevens' players.
Aaron, key adjustments for the Celtics. Hindi naman as if tinatambakan sila or they have not led. They in fact led in game 2 just to lose that game. But it's been a hit or miss league ika nga for them, no? Tatum had that game-tying dunk potentially, and then Bam just played better defense. So what are the key adjustments that you think the Celtics can make here in the series?
Yeah, actually, the Celtics were were up double digits in both of the games, and they have now lost the most number of double-digit games in the entire league, heading on into Game 3. The good thing for the Celtics is that they have some time off. The NBA is taking a little bit of a break, mainly because in the States, NFL season is back. They're not used to scheduling games all at the same time, so the Celtics will have some time off heading on into Game 4. Though, whenever I'm watching this series, I don't know if it's just me, but it really feels like it's just chess master versus chess master in Spoelstra and Brad Stevens, and they're just using pieces and pawns and moving the queens and bishops to try and get this series to go their way. So far, it's been going Coach Spo's way, and you have to think that it is the Pinoy basketball gods that gave the team in the bubble that is filled with magic bunots to be coached by a Pinoy. It just has to be this way. Pinoy basketball gods are playing a joke on us, and a team of magic bunots is led by a Pinoy. I just can't get over that.
That's really nice. Gino, who's a bigger factor for the Celtics? Kemba that we know, who we knew in Charlotte, or a Gordon Hayward coming back?
I think Hayward, actually. I mean, Kemba's Kemba. I actually think Kemba's been okay. I mean, he hasn't been the Charlotte Hornets Kemba Walker, but I think if Gordon Hayward is able to contribute, kahit, sabihin natin 70% of what Gordon Hayward can do, I think that would be enough to get them some wins in this series and get them back into things. Kasi parang as good as Tatum is and Jaylen Brown is, there's that, and even Marcus Smart, who kind of is trying to ignite a fire underneath the players. I think there's a little bit of a coolness factor, that chill factor that Gordon Hayward brings, that they're kind of missing. Parang they kind of get tarantay, they kind of get rattled when the Heat apply pressure on them. So I think Hayward in situations like that would help out, the veteran presence of Gordon Hayward.
Aaron, is Bam Adebayo already a star?
I think that he has the makings of it. He reminds me. I think we were saying the same exact thing about Hassan Whiteside when he was still playing for Miami before he fell out of favor with Coach Spo. But what, Gino? You don't agree with me?
You just put Hassan Whiteside and Bam in the same sentence.
Hey man, when Hassan Whiteside was an all-star when he was with Miami. I'm just saying, man, it's a little early maybe for my takes, but I think Bam Adebayo has what it takes to be a star. I think he will. He's not a star yet. He has the pieces to get there, the mentality to get there, and it's just accentuated even more when he's with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler brings out the best in all of these players. I think we're drinking a little bit too much Kool-Aid when we're talking about Tyler Hero maybe being, or Duncan Robinson being one of the best shooters we've seen in the NBA. No, let's relax a bit. This team is coached by a really good coach. It's led by one of the best leaders in the league, and that is why you're seeing the best out of the players on the court.
All right. And before I let you go, guys, syempre, ang gusto marinig ng mga fans ninyo at lahat ng mga nakikinig sa NBA, who's gonna make it to the NBA Finals? I'll start with you, Gino.
Lakers versus Heat. As much as I want Lakers Celtics, I think it's Lakers Heat.
I will, because of the fact that they're already 2 up, I'm gonna go Lakers Heat as well. But I want it to be Lakers and Celtics.
Hey, kahit na 2-0 yan, pwede namang humabol ang Boston.
Yeah,
Pwede. Kaya.
If Denver can come back from 3-1 twice, so the Celtics can do it as well. I called it to be the Lakers and the Celtics before the conference finals, so I'll stick with that.
All right. Well, a lot of things will happen for sure. And it starts today, Game 1 ng Nuggets versus Lakers. Hindi po Cagayan de Oro Nuggets at saka Laguna Lakers. Guys, it's been a great morning. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks,
Always
Tom.
a pleasure, Tom.
See you soon. Yan po mga kaibigan natin from ESPN5, Gino Rufino, and of course, Aaron at Tyden. Ako, NBA news galore, basketball lahat. Tungkol sa basketball ang araw na to para sa Power and Play. We'll take a quick break. Mag-news break po tayo dito sa Power and Play. Ito po ang Power and Play hatid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement at ng Cherry Loom.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay, Big Boss Cement tatag na, di basta bibigay. Nandito na ang Big Boss Cement, matatag, di basta matitibag, approve sa kalikasan at sobrang abot kaya. Big Boss Cement, Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay, Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taon pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Cherry Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM News Update.
Narito ang mga balitang hatid ng Radyo 5. Epektibo na ang 2 palugit sa pagbabayad ng mga utang sa Pag-ibig Fund. Sakop nito ang lahat ng ahensyang may utang sa Pag-ibig Fund. Nilinaw ni Pag-ibig Fund Chief Executive Officer Ahmad Moti na hindi ito moratorium alinsunod sa bayanihan law, kundi isa itong grace period lamang na 2 buwan kaya pasok pa rin dito ang interes sa utang. Sa ibang balita, bumaba na ng 10% ang bilang ng mga walang trabaho sa bansa na naapektuhan ng COVID-19 pandemic. Dahil na rin ito sa pagbubukas muli ng mga ekonomiya sa bansa. Sinabi ni Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III, mas mababa ang nasabing porsyento kung ikukumpara sa nakaraang 17%. Ayon pa kay Bello, kumakatawan ito sa 4 na milyong Pilipino na nawalan ng trabaho. Umaasa ang kalihim na mas bababa pa ang bilang ng mga nawalan ng trabaho sa bansa. Samantala, pinabubusisi ng mga residente ng Baseco Tondo ang paglutang ng libu-libu mga nabubulok na patay na isda sa Manila Bay. Ito'y kahit pa idineklara na ng Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources o BFAR na sanhi ito ng mababang oxygen level. Nais ng grupong Baseco Seaside Neighborhood Association na imbestigahan ito sabay paggiit na fake news ang pahayag ng BFAR na 10 kilong isda lamang ang nakitang patay o na namatay sa Manila Bay. Giit ng asosasyon na nangyayari rin umano ang ganitong fish kill dati pa sa lugar pero hindi kasing dami ng mga lumutang napatay na isda kamakailan. Sinabi ni Regine Nequia, presidente ng naturang samahan, na gusto nilang malaman kung may kinalaman sa paglalagay ng dolomite sa gilid ng Manila Bay ang pagkamatay ng mga isda. At yan ang balita. Ako si Mon Gualvez ng Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM.
Radyo 5 News Update.
Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay, Big Boss Cement, tatag na, di basta bibigay. Nandito na ang Big Boss Cement, matatag, di basta matitibag, approve sa kalikasan at sobrang abot kaya. Big Boss Cement, Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay, Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Calling all COVID-19 survivors. If you're an official COVID-19 survivor, currently 18 to 65 years old, and weighing at least 50 kilos, you can save the life of a COVID-19 patient through your blood plasma donation. For inquiries, you may call 0998-582-1944 or 0998-582-1377. Donate now and help save more lives. A message from the KBP, Kaya Natin Movement for Good Governance and Ethical Leadership, St. Luke's Medical Center, and this station.
Power and Play with Com Noli Iyala.
Mga kaibigan, nagbabalik po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement at ng Cherry Loom. Doon sa mga nagpadala ng kanilang reaction sa ating pulso question ngayong araw pong ito. Yung sino ang player o team na pinakaabangan ninyo sa pagbabalik ng PBA? Ito po mula kay sa Twitter ito, si Matt Manansala at Mark Anthony. Hinebra daw, never say die. Mula naman kay Reese, si Calvin Abueva. Tila ang kanyang tinutukoy dito. Mula naman kay Milson Aces. So I guess Alaska Aces ang kanyang gusto dito. Uy, kinakamusta natin si Joey Villar. Magandang umaga, Joey, ng Philippine Star. Sabi niya, Hinebra fan. And syempre, ang kanyang inaabangan Hinebra. Pero syempre siya, PBA ang kanyang gustong suportahan sa pagbabalik. Marami pa dito yung mga nagsasabi. Si Ka Efren, sabi si Tayson. Wala si Tayson Prince. Doon pa nga nakatutok po sa atin sa pamamagitan ng Twitter. Marami po salamat. Siya nga pala, gusto natin patiin sila Evelyn Mercado watching from Georgia, Atlanta. Magandang gabi po sa inyo dyan sa Atlanta, Georgia. Naku, next week yata o malapit na, next month, yung US, yung Masters uli sa golf. Domingo Cabio mula sa Antipolo, magandang umaga po. Si Anesita watching from Australia. Uy, si Ara Barido, good morning. Pakibati po first wedding anniversary ni Kuya Jap at Ate Karen. Happy anniversary Kuya Jap and Ate Karen. Si Ana Mohe is also watching. Andyan din si Wilma Florendo Eco and of course Alma Lombos. And of course, happy birthday kay Dodo Katakutan, ng editor ng Spin.ph. Alright, tuloy-tuloy po tayo. Basketball galore and tuloy-tuloy ang basketball sa Power and Play. Ngayon naman ang ating mga kausap. First time tayo makakapag-usap sa mga nasangkot, yung involved, mga personality sa likod po nung tinatawag na Sorsogon Bubble ng UST. Ngayong araw po ito, maswerte tayo makakasama natin. Well, lalagyan na natin ng XEX sa kanilang resume. Ex-UST Growling Tiger. Dahil nagpaalam na po sila sa kanilang koponan. Walang iba kundi ang Rookie of the Year last year ng UAAP, si Mark Nonoy, at ang kanilang forward ng UST, si Deo Kuwahao. Good morning, Deo!
Morning po.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning sa inyo. Thank you very much for joining us. Mukhang relax ka dyan, Mark. Okay. Alam mo, gusto nating kamustahin kayo. Dahil of course, napabalita na kayo ililipat na ng Lasal. Pero bago natin puntahan yung inyong paglipat sa Lasal, syempre, meron kayong pinanggalingan yung UST. At alam naman natin, ang naging desisyon ninyo ay hango na rin sa mga pangyayaring narinig natin in the last month or so, itong tinatawag na Sorsogon Bubble. So let me just ask you first, kayong dalawa, Mark and Deo, were you there mismo sa Sorsogon? At kayo ba ay nakasama dun sa training camp ni Coach Aldenayo? Mark, ikaw muna.
Nandun po kami pero late po kami dumating Sila siguro naka almost 1 month na sila. So kami parang late na kami dumating doon sa
Kailan ka dumating, Mark?
Bacoor.
Kailan ka mismo dumating doon?
July 30 or
29.
29 or 30? 29.
Kayong dalawa, Deo, ikaw rin, ganun kakalate?
Opo,
Okay.
kasi galing kami ng mga probinsya.
Province.
Oh, okay, so in other words, pwede pa lang ganun. Hindi kailangan na sabay-sabay kayo nagpunta doon?
Hindi kasi late, mahirap po yung process pag nasa probinsya po. Kasi marami pong kailangan kasuhin.
Okay. Pero kailan inanunsyo to sa inyo ni Coach Aldin? Ang pagkakaalam niyo ba si Coach Aldin ang nag-anunsyo nito o galing ito sa school management? Kailan inanunsyo to sa mga players, Deo?
Nung pa lang po, nung March, yung pag-uwi namin, pagkatapos ng D-League, yung pinauwi kami. Sabi, babalik do kami.
At meron na bang lugar? Sinabi ba sa inyo na Sorsogon yan, na pupuntahan ninyo at may petsa na ba?
Opo. Na kasi sana yung option sana sa UST, kaso bawal pa ito sa Manila. ECQ pa.
Okay. Kasi ang Sorsogon nung panahon na yon ay wala na sa ECQ, ika nga, no? So, pwede lang
NGCQ, no?
NGCQ. Okay, Mark, paano kayo nagpunta sa Sorsogon? Kanya-kanya ba yan o sabay-sabay kayong ng mga players?
Kasabayan ko po sila ng yung mga taga-province, tapos yung mga taga-Maynila, yun yung nauna sa amin eh. So, kasi mahirap yung process namin dun sa province namin. Kaya
Saan ka ba? Anong probinsya ka ba, Mark? Sa ano ka, no?
Negros po, Negros.
Negros, oo. Negros, tama. Oo. Okay. Totoo ba, ikaw ba, kayong dalawa ba, nag-submit kayo ng waiver din, nakagaya ng hinihingi sa ibang player?
Oo, nag-submit din kayo. Required po kasi sa amin yan.
Alright. Okay, so, nagpunta kayo doon. Deo, can you describe to us a little bit, ano ba yung Sorsogon bubble na yan? Ano ba yung itsura nung pinaglalaroan ninyo? Saan kayo nakatira? At ano ang ginagawa ninyo nung panahon na yun?
Nasa bahay kami nila Coach Aldin. Kasi kompleto po kasi dun. May court siya, may weights room, tapos may kami kwarto. Sa isang kwarto, tatlo, ganun po.
Tapos, saan kayo naglalaro?
Sa court po ni Coach Aldin, sa loob po ng sa labas kasi compound po kina Coach Aldin eh.
So talagang isang lugar lang yan, hindi kayo lumalabas doon. Doon lang kayo talaga
Hindi
sa loob na yun. Okay.
Hindi po.
Okay. Ano ang schedule niyo doon, Mark? Paano? Sa umaga, anong ginagawa ninyo hanggang pagtulog nyo?
Nung di pa nag-start yung class, inihiwalay po yung training. Nung dumating kami doon, kasi naka-quarantine pa kami. So, morning kami, mga 5 a.m. kami nagtitraining. Tapos yung nauna doon, nagtitraining sila mga bandang 8 pagtapos na kami. So, kumbaga, hindi kami sabay-sabay sa court talaga. Yung in-observe din namin yung protocol ng IATF. Wala naman kami nilabag doon siguro.
So in other words, hindi kayo, walang scrimmages, talagang 3-on-3. Ganun ba ang ginagawa ninyo? Tatlo lang ang nagpa-practice isang oras?
Walang scrimmage, pero kami, 6 kami ata nung na-quarantine kami doon. Tapos sila, hinihiwalay din sila. Yung ibang batch nasa gym, tapos yung iba nasa court.
Okay. May mga nagreklamo tungkol sa pagkain. Deo, totoo ba yan? May mga problema kayo sa pagkain ninyo nung nandun kayo sa lugar ni Coach Aldin?
Sa amin po yung probinsya, wala naman po kaming reklamo. Kasi yung mga may nauna nga, yun yung mga yun sa kanilang grupo may nagreklamo. Kasi hindi namin alam kung ano nangyari nung una. Kasi late po kami dumating.
So
sa amin wala po kami reklamo.
Parang ang sinasabi mo, yung mga nahuli, yung mga nanggaling pa sa probinsya, maayos na nung dumating kayo, kumbaga. Wala nang mga issue tungkol sa ganyan. Tama ba yun?
Opo.
Okay. Pero nung panahon na yun, marami ba sa inyo gusto na talagang umuwi? O ito ay limitado lamang kila CJ Cancino na gusto lang umuwi nung panahon na. Kasi yun ang isa sa binato laban kay Coach Aldi na ayaw silang payagang umalis at kung uuwi na sila, sabi wag nang bumalik. So, yan ba talagang nagkasama-sama mga player na sabi, uwi na tayo at ayaw na namin. Totoo ba yan, Mark?
Siguro yung isang rason na gusto nilang umuwi nila CJ kasi na-homesick sila ata kasi first time din nila ata na naghiwalay sa family nila. So, tapos taga Manila lang sila, pero hindi sila ganun kasanay na maiwalay. And, wala naman sinabi si coach na pag umuwi ka, wala ka na sa team. Sabi nga niya, pwede naman umuwi or example, uwi kami. Tapos siguro the next month kung balak namin bumalik, pwede naman kami bumalik doon ulit.
Okay. So in other words, hindi to parang Bartolina, parang pinilit kayong nandun sa loob ng compound ni Coach Aldin na Deo.
Hindi naman po kasi meron ka pong choice Kaya sabi ni coach para sa amin din naman 'yan. Yung practice. Malaking tulong sa amin 'yan. Kung gusto mo umuwi, pwede ka naman umuwi.
Malaking bagay 'yan, malaking ika nga revelation 'yan dahil may mga haka-haka na sinasabing hindi daw nagreklamo sila Cancino dahil ayaw silang paalisin kahit papaano. Well, okay, iwanan natin yan. And of course, alam natin ang mga nangyari dahil dyan, nagkawatak-watak ang UST Growling Tigers, napunta ang ibang mga players sa UP. Kasama na dyan sila CJ Cancino, napunta naman yung iba sa Letran, si Renz Abando, Brent Paraiso at saka si Ira Batilier. Kayong dalawa ay nagdesisyon. Okay, bago yan, ano ang rason ninyo para magdesisyon na iwanan na ang inyong dating alma mater na UST, Mark?
Bago kami magdesisyon, marami ding proseso. Nagantay din kami ng ilang months na kung ano mangyayari sa team. Pero wala. Hindi po namin alam. Kinoconsult din namin sa former coach ko, tas sa personal manager ko na gano'n na walang hindi namin alam kung anong mangyayari sa team. And yun na, lumabas yung band ni Coach Aldin. Tapos, saka na kami nagdesisyon kasi di namin alam talaga kasi pag hindi kami maglilipat, baka hindi kami mapasok sa 1-year residence kasi nag-start na yung school year . So yun, last minute na talaga kami kasi inaalam talaga namin kung anong mangyayari kay Coach Aldin sa team kasi loyal talaga kami kay Coach Aldin.
Mabigat ba yung desisyon na yan, Deo? Nahirapan ba kayo? Ikaw, personal? At ano ang mga factors na nagtulak sa'yo dun sa desisyon na yun?
Sobrang hirap po kasi ayaw talaga namin umalis . Wala kami ibang iniisip kung nakalaan na yung yung future namin sa UST kasi may 4 years pa kami para maglaro. So yun, sobrang hirap. Pero kailangan na kasi magdesisyon kasi nauubusan na ng oras. Hindi namin alam kung anong sitwasyon dun.
Okay, meron bang ibang teams na nagpakita ng interest sa inyo? Mark, lalo ka na? Kasi may bali-balita na meron daw ibang koponan na nag-offer pero sa dulo winidraw na rin yung offer, Mark.
Marami din po tulad ng Adamson,
Sambeda, ganun ka rin ba, Deo?
Opo, pares po kami ng offer.
So talagang Batman and Robin kayong dalawa, parang magkasama kayo. Package deal. Ngayon, ang tanong ko, bakit Lasal? Bakit DLSU Green Archers ang napili ninyo, Deo?
Kasi po, ang gaan sa pakiramdam. Kasi, unang-una po kasi nandun, si Man Scarpio po kumuha sa amin sa tournaments. Yung taga Davao. Kasi siyempre, feel na namin, matulungan namin yung Lasal. Parang fit kami sa sistema.
Mark? Bakit Lasal?
Siguro, binili ko yung Lasal kasi inaalam ko din yung mga graduating kasi doon, sila Aljun. Tapos talagang rebuilding team yun. Tsaka alam ko na kaya mag-compete to the championship. So, ito yung chance na makakuha ko championship siguro, ganun. So, kaya ako pinili yung Lasal kasi alam ko na, yun nga, maganda yung program. Tapos, talaga si Attorney Mans talaga yung nag-usap sa amin, talagang desidido siya na kukunin talaga kami. And siguro parang same system lang din para kay Coach Aldi na yung sistema ni Coach Derek na trap talaga. Yun.
Okay. Alam ko na may mga narinig kayong kritisismo tungkol sa desisyon ninyo. Sabi daw, pera-pera lang, etc. etc. Okay, liwanagin natin on the record dito sa Power and Play, Mark at saka Deo. Meron bang offer ng pera dito at kaya kayo lumipat ng Lasal? Mark, ikaw muna.
Wala yan, hindi. Ganun talaga kasi syempre, isipin nila, Lasal yun. Syempre, mayaman yung Lasal. So, isipin nila na dahil sa pera, pinalit namin yung loyalty namin, yung pagkatao namin. Hindi yun. Gusto lang talaga namin na maglaro lang talaga. Kahit nga walang allowances lang, dorm, okay na kami. Kasi sanay naman kami sa probinsya Kung ano lang binibigay sa amin, yun lang naman Tapos di naman kami humingi ng ganun kalaki na pera.
Okay. Deo?
Opo, kung pera-pera lang po, dapat sana may mga pa lang, di na namin hintay yung last decision, last minute. Dapat nung pagsabi pa lang na wala nang maayos yung UST, pamalis na kami kung pera-pera lang. Di na namin hintay yung decision nila, Coach.
Well, alam natin na minsan mga kritiko talagang ganyan magsasalita kahit paano, di ba? Kaya mabuti nang liwanagin natin. Alright, Mark and Deo, before I let you go, ang tanong ko na lang, kayo ba ay masaya na sa inyong naging desisyon at ano ang ma-expect sa inyo ng mga alumni at ng fans ng De La Salle University Green Archers? Unahin kita muna, Mark.
Nagpapasalamat kami and binigyan kami ng opportunity na makapag-aral, makapaglaro sa Lasal and siguro yung may bibigay lang namin kung ano yung pinakita namin sa last season, magtatrabaho kami sa residence namin at higitan pa namin yung ginawa namin sa UST. Yun lang po.
Deo?
Parang kami buo na kami sa nalasal na talaga. Yun lang, ready na kami harapin yung mga bagong challenges. Yun nga po, papatunayan namin yung kung ano man. Tapos kung mga anong pinaghirapan namin, dodoble namin.
Alright, well, good luck sa inyong dalawa at I'm sure bagay sa inyo ang kulay berde. Kaya hindi na ghoste pero Animo Lasal. Congratulations and good luck sa inyong dalawa. Maraming salamat sa pagsama sa akin.
Maraming salamat po.
Yan po mga kaibigan, ang dating tiga UST Growling Tigers, si Deo Cuahao, and of course, ang dating Rookie of the Year ng UAAP, Mark Nonoy. Naku, bilib na bilib ako dyan kay Mark Nonoy. Talagang parang batang Jason Castro. Abangan niyo po yan. Talking about abangan, bago tayo magpaalam, lamang po ang Los Angeles Lakers. Sa mga nakatutok at gusto malaman kung ano nangyari sa Game 1 ng Western Conference Finals, lamang ang Los Angeles Lakers 56-43 with about kalahati na po ng second quarter ang natatapos. Naku, napakarami po natin na pag-usapan. Marami pang nagpapabati. Atin pong iipunin ito at hopefully mabati natin kayo sa susunod na episode po ng Power and Play. So, bueno, paano? Tapos po tayo. Tuwing Sabado, siyempre, magsama-sama ulit tayo, lalong-lalo na next week. At atin pong tatalakayin ng napakagandang at makulay na mundo ng palakasan. Again, sa ngalan po sa lahat sa amin dito sa Power Play, nagpapasalamat po kami sa inyong lahat. At lagi namin sinasabi, pag Sabado, bawal ang masungit. And of course, sa lahat po ng ating gawain, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Happy Sports Weekend, mga kapatid.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala. Game over na! Next Saturday ulit, Noli Iyala Power and Play sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Boss Cement, matatag, di basta matitibag. Approve sa kalikasan at sobrang abot kaya. Big Boss Cement, Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay, Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay delikado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Ngayong panahon ng pandemya, marami po ang nagkakalat ng mga bali-balita na nagpapasama pa ng sitwasyon. Kaya naman magbasa at makinig lamang sa official sources. Isip-isip bago mag-share. Basahin at pakinggan ang balita ng maigi. I-check kung galing sa official website o source. Huwag maniwala sa finorward lamang. Para sa iba pa pong impormasyon, bisitahin ang Bida Solusyon at DOH official Facebook